This is a story time about my daughter, Pasha Strickland. I have two daughters, Essence, her older sister, and Pasha Javon Strickland. She passed away April 20th of 2021. Her birthday is coming up on September 15th, 4 days after mine. She will be turning 34 years old. She left behind 5 children, 4 girls and a boy. This is the hardest thing I have ever experienced, and I have experienced pain before. I had just lost my mom 10 months before this. I've lost people that was close to me, near and dear. But when you lose a child, and a lot of people treat your loss as if it is a event, like it's that thing, that one thing that happened to you, and you'll be fine. Like you broke your ankle that day, and then 3 months later you healed and you bounced back and you got back to your life. That's how a lot of people, and I don't think they mean to do it. I don't think it's intentional because they have never, felt this loss. Now, the ones who can resonate with it and they've been through it, then I'm not talking about them. A lot of them don't do that. But the ones who never lost a child, and it's not the same as losing a mom. It's not the same as a boyfriend breaking up with you or going to jail. It's not the same as even if he was unalive. And that could be painful, especially if you still with the person. But my Pasha, I never would have seen this coming. I asked God to bless me with two daughters, and he did. And I figured I had everything worked out. I made it to where I couldn't have no more kids. And then here she come with 5 kids. And she was a prankster. She loved to laugh and joke. Remember one time she asked if I wanted some Oreos. And I'm like, yeah. And everybody staring at me, and I ain't caught on. I bit into it. Why come the cream was toothpaste? That's the type of stuff she would do. And she was known by her friends to being that person with a lot of wisdom and knowledge for her age. She would give you some great advice. And she was loyal to the end to her friends and in her relationships. We relocated from Bloomington in 2016 to start our lives over. She had just went through a traumatic breakup with 3 of her kids' father, or the father of 3 of her kids, put it like that, and had a real bad breakup, and it was really, really vexing her spirit, and people was turning on her. So she was ready to go, and I was ready to go after my breakup. So we get here, and she finally gets set up, found a place, get a job. Well, she got the job first, found a place, beautiful place, 2-bedroom townhouse, 2 bathrooms. It was wonderful. It was only like 3 blocks away from where I was staying at. So everything was falling in place. Money was right, spirits is up. And then she met somebody. When she started working the job, I don't know if he worked at the job or she met him through a mutual friend at the job or just at the bus stop. You just never know these days. Anyway, she started dating this guy. And during that dating, they was getting into it. One time he got mad at her and busted her window. Now the townhouse, was on ground level, because it's townhouses, upstairs, downstairs. So it was very easy for him to just throw whatever he threw and bust her whole window. And her kids was there. Thank God they wasn't in that spot, because they would have been hurt. Did she stop talking to him? Maybe a couple of days, but eventually she forgave him, and they started back talking. Then another time, maybe a couple of months later, a few weeks later, she left him at her house while she went to go hang out with her cousins. I guess he didn't want to go, and he had his son over there. I guess he's just going to hang out there until she got back. Cool. And he was trying to call her, according to her, when she told me the story later. And she couldn't answer because she wasn't by Wi-Fi. You know how your phone is off, but you're just pretty much using that phone for Wi-Fi. She hadn't been to pay her bill, and I don't know why he didn't pay it. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, when he was calling and she wasn't by the Wi-Fi and used that text now service that you can put on your phone to receive calls, he got mad and left. But guess what he did before he left? He turned on both bathroom, bathtub, and sink water. And then he went downstairs on his way out the door and turned on the kitchen sink and the bathroom downstairs. He turned on all the waters and just left her door unlocked. So when she got home hours later, the whole ceiling that was upstairs in her room from the water damage had caved in. It it almost caved completely in. You hear me? So that damage was almost like $2,000. Now we talking about paying that. Even if they let her pay in increments a little bit at a time, they still expecting they $995 for rent. Now I was on the lease for her. I want to help her get the place. This is before she even met him. And so what I was doing was, I didn't have to help her pay rent because she got the job, but I was just trying to pretty much make sure she was set up in a decent place because she could afford the rent. But of course, every little dime gonna count. So since I had pretty much custody of her kids, it was a type of custody that you and the parent make between yourself, and you sign this piece of paper, and it's good for a year. I did that while we was in Bloomington because of her going to school and then going to work. It allowed me to take them to the clinic, put them in school, just different things that you wouldn't have to keep calling off for work. So I was getting public aid for them, and they was giving me like $500 worth of money for them, and I would just give it to her on the rent. That way she only had to come over the other five. It worked out perfect. And then when it came to the food stamps, I kept them. But of course, I got her a little food for her house for the days they was over there. She only lived like 3 blocks away. And on her off days, the kids would be home with her. Now, you would think after he did that to her sibling, that it was over, right? No. She was sneaking behind my back and was telling the kids, don't tell mama that he over here. We're going to just call him Paul, y'all. Paul. She didn't want me to know that she let Paul back in, pretty much as forgiving him because he gave her, I'm thinking at that time he might have gave her between $300 and $400 to put down on that thing or all the damage. Come on now. It's way about more than money. He should have gave her that regardless. Anyway, yeah, I'm pissed off. I cussed him out. I cussed her out and all that. So the next thing you know, she can't keep this up, paying this rent. He ain't giving her nothing or giving her enough. And I don't know what happened after that, but I want to say they broke up, so-called for good. Now, she at my house, so most definitely ain't coming in. So if she was still meeting with him, it was meet me on the corner type of thing. You know, don't pull up in front of the house or meet me by my old house. Because, like I said, she only lived at that time 3 blocks away. But she had to move back with me. It was still close enough to still go over there and, walk their way to meet him. Okay, let's fast forward some months ahead. She's living with me. She has a regular routine schedule of going to work. I don't know. I can't remember if at this time that during that COVID situation that it was at home working. I don't think yet, but it's coming up soon. Before you know it, yes, eventually, sometime later, that it was to the point where she had to work from home. Now, fast forward even more. My mom passed away. Now, during all this time, my daughter be home after work every day. And when she was working from home, she wouldn't go nowhere except these 2 or 3 days out the week. And it was with this new guy that she introduced to, which seemed to be somebody that she was steadily dating and pretty much liking. Because she'll go away either every Thursday or every Friday. And she'll come back either that Sunday or that Monday, depending on both of their work schedules. It was fine. And if she wasn't over there, she was with her cousin in Chicago, going out to some party or just hanging out at our house. Now, I'm not having no clue about this Paul guy. She ain't brought him up. I ain't seen no signs of it. But if you think about it, it makes sense. If she took him back them first 2 times, the third time would be a charm because now she live with me. I just don't have to know about it. She goes out anyway, and I could be thinking she with her cousin or going to hang out with her boyfriend all the time. She could be meeting him and going to his house or getting the room or whatever. And we're going to fast forward. My mom is gone. She passed away June of 2020. My birthday come up September, which is, like I said, 4 days before her birthday. I had a big birthday celebration. September 11, 2020, I had 3 comedians, live drummers, a DJ, African food caterer. I cook food, in my big basement. I had a casino theme. We was playing pool tabs. We had a great time. It would be the last time that I celebrate my birthday like that. I mean, of course, I'm always going to be like, it's my birthday on the right before another day, go live or something like that. But to really throw something or really go somewhere and get dressed up, no, I have not. That was the last time that me and my daughter celebrated our birthday together. Now, fast forward. Matter of fact, watch for part 2 coming up, y'all.